5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I should overcome. What for? Train in the trees, please pardon my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands, and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Ain't no challenge for champions and chain no fear. Yeah, the championship.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning to the Wolf Pack. This is your host, Jeremiah Bannister. It's an amazing day, Friday, October 23rd. Gotta admit, I'm pretty tired. Been a long work week, everybody. So I hope that you're in for a good ride today. I hope that you have your coffee armed and at the ready. We still don't have the cups. We still don't have the cups. Oh, man. And look, it is not my, well, it is my fault, okay? It is my fault. Hold on a second. We're gonna have to bring Ailey into this right out of the gate. Just gotta say, look, remind me for the bazillionth time to put together the description for the cups so that everybody can be drinking out of the same cup together. Because we have a store. Yo, Ailey, you there? Yeah. That's the other thing. I haven't been communicating very well. I've been reprimanded. I have been reprimanded. And it works out perfect, man, because this is Family First Friday. And so we have to definitely incorporate the family into this. Make sure, while we're waiting here, make sure that you reach out to all of your friends, all your family, all the friends out there, and classmates and coworkers. Let them know that you're watching a really, really great show, because we have a bunch of really great things for you. So I hope you got your coffee ready, straight to the dome, prepared with a straw, because we got a lot of topics. And before we get into that, before we get into the fun stuff, okay, before we get into the fun stuff, I want to go ahead and share with you something here. Hold on a second. Let me go straight to the news here. So I don't know if any of you saw this recently, okay? Ailey brought this to my attention. It's a little bit glitchy. What's up with that? Yeah. Okay, it's refreshing the screen. There we go. That's better. So, okay, so here's the thing. Robinette's. I don't know if you've ever heard of Robinette's. Robinette's is a place around here in Grand Rapids on 4 Mile Road. And there were some serious problems because apparently, was it Ivanka? Was it Ivanka or Melania? Which one showed up? I think it was Ivanka. Ivanka showed up there. It's a great place. It's a great place. Got wine, got a bunch of other really great things. Delicious, as you can see, delicious food. Okay, amazing place to go. And once that was over, once a person from the president's family shows up, all of a sudden, you can't share them. Now, I don't know if this has been fixed or not. Okay, this is a screen capture. Actually, kind of cool, man. Ailey, she's on the ball. She knows what she's doing. She recorded this to say, can I share Robinette's? And it was all these different people, and even the news got in on this. So I'm wondering if it's been fixed. If it has, let me know in the comment section. And speaking of comment sections, all over the place, okay? All over the place on YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, DLive, Twitch. I'm all over. And if you comment there, you may not see a bunch of other people. They may be in other channels. They may be watching in different places. But all of those comments go to the same feed, and I engage with them in real time. Like, for example, Johnson Otem, good day. Yes, good day to you on Facebook. Appreciate that. Yep, communication is key. This is from Cherie on YouTube. CF, good morning. Good morning for me. Right? Yes, good morning for you. Good morning for all of us. Yes. Shannon says, no, not the cups. Yes, the cups. We have not gotten them. She's on Facebook. Again. Bethany, happy Friday. Merry Christmas. Green and red shirts. It's not green and red. It's actually orange. It's orange. Now, the lighting here might make it look kind of red, but it's actually orange. Because we're coming up on, All Saints Day and stuff. All Hallows Eve. Oh, that's what I celebrate. Brian says, let's go straight to the dome. Again, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope. I'm able to interact with them. You won't see them, but I'm able to interact with them, and we do. So let me know about Robinette's. Let me know if that's been fixed. My hope is that it is. Robert says prayers for America to wake. We're going to actually talk about that. Yeah. Matero J Abe 2020. We're going to talk a little bit about that. You might be surprised at how little we're actually going to talk about it. I have to say, before we move on, your big boy here is in some trouble. I am in some trouble because, we've all known that it's only a matter of time before the overlords over at Big Tech start to realize what's going on. Not just because what we talk about, the controversial stuff, the politics and all that, but also the animal uprising. We talk about the great animal uprising of 2020. We are on it like crazy here. And because we are, we get a lot of flack. And I've been actually kind of a little bit surprised at just how little flack I've been getting from Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff until yesterday. It's just a small thing, but it was kind of an amazing revelation in a way, because I get this letter. It says, "Hi, Paleocrat." They're acting like they're my friend. "Hi, how's it going, Paleocrat? As you may know, our community guidelines describe which content we allow and don't allow on YouTube. Your video, Pakistan in Chaos," and I thought, what? "Was flagged to us for review." Really? "Upon review, we've determined that it may not be suitable for all viewers, and it's been placed behind an age restriction." Now, I can respond to this. I've thought about it. I probably should, but I'd like to speak to other people who are in the know, because here's the thing about it, is that Pakistan in Chaos is 12 years old. That video is not new, man. That is 12 years old. And more than that, it's set to private. Nobody can see it. It's a private video. So somehow, I didn't even know they did this. I didn't know they did this at all. They're like, "Oh, we're reviewing your private videos. We're making sure that you're not saying anything naughty that we don't like, even if it's not shared with anybody in 12 years. They're on to me, guys. They are on to me. Oh, they're harassing me now. Because look, if they're going after what's private, that's 12 years old, how long is it before they start to see all of the posts about the animal uprising? It's not going to take long. It's not going to take long. So just, you have to know in advance. And there's a good possibility. In fact, I would dare say, if history is a guide, that it's a probability that, oh boy, here will eventually be removed and they will accuse me of something really outrageous. They're going to say, "Oh, look, he said these words that weren't nice. He said these words that disagreed with our SJW cult mindset." It's a matter of time, guys. But I'm putting myself out there. I am putting myself out there. Speaking of somebody putting themselves out there, this is another one of those things. This is a serious thing. Another one of the serious kind of announcements. This is actually a really good announcement. Has to do with somebody who watches the show. Now, this person has been a trooper for a while. Okay, this person, a friend of mine. Okay, I care about him. Great guy. We've been talking a lot recently. May actually meet up tomorrow in Allendale. If you don't know about that, there's a rally in Allendale, not far from Grand Rapids. So if you live nearby, if you live a long ways away, hit us up. PaleocratDiaries@gmail.com. Maybe we'll send the Paleo Jet to go get you. I'll get on that stat. Get the Paleo Jet ready, guys. We're folding up the airplane. That's what we're doing. The president's call to, quote, "go to the polls and watch carefully," is resonating with his supporters. This is Dasha Burns. Oh, where is she? Oh, MSNBC. There we go. "We followed local activist Adam Heikala as he recruited poll watchers and challengers at a Trump rally in Michigan this weekend." Let's see if we can play this. There we go. No, let's get this audio on the... Well, that's strange. Give me a second. For some reason, it was not playing in the record stream, which would not be good for other videos. Yeah, it's not working for the record stream. And that's very strange. I'm not entirely sure why. But here's the thing. Is that you've got Adam out there. We at least have to move forward, man. Let's see if we have to be able to get this. That's going to drive me absolutely bonkers. That's going to drive me totally, totally bonkers. If we can't get the record stream. What's up with that? Okay, we're gonna refresh this and see. Because it's too good. It's too good. And to have a guy, man, we really care about this guy, by the way. Really care about him. It's wanting to go. It's wanting to go. While this thing's loading up, we're going to see if this thing's even loading up. We had technical difficulties, by the way, even leading up to the show. Oh, couldn't play the media for some reason. What's going on with that? We're sabotaged, guys. Yeah, see, I start talking about big tech coming at me, and next thing you know, what happens? Oh, big tech totally comes at me. Well, there he is. We'll just get a snapshot of him in there. Take it down. Adam's a great guy. We'll play. We'll see if we can. I hope it doesn't affect the rest of all these videos. Because then we know for a fact that big tech is totally in on this, man. They're like watching right now. They're like, okay. Okay, we need to check it out, man. Is he talking about the animals? Yes, I am. I am talking about animals. And I'm talking about people making a big difference. And so, you know what I mean? They're definitely keeping an eye on, oh boy, here. Robert Dodge. Yeah, thank you for the prayers. Definitely. Thank you very much for that. What happened to the Skojis? Oh, you know what, man? Someone's asking in the comment section. They're asking, what happened to the Skojis? Talking about the pink headphones. I think my daughter snagged them. I do, man. All my kids love those Skojis, right? Because it's the colors, really. It's the colors that Samantha liked. She's my daughter who died of childhood brain cancer. Rest in peace to her. Memory eternal to that girl. She's amazing. We love her and we think of her every day. But we bought those because the colors kind of reflect the colors that we use at PaleocratDiaries.com. And I was using them for quite a while, but I have to kind of like hide them. I got to get a safe. I have to get a safe, man. It's just what's got to happen. Let's see. I need to see here if this audio is even going to work. And I'll get Ailey here on the Skojis here. Hold on a second. Let's do this. I apologize for being a little flighty. I apologize. I tried to stay up late. Watching the news, watching the debate, and doing that took me away from being able to assemble all the news for the day. So I'm running on kind of a itsy-weetsy amount of sleep. Not very much. I already told Ailey after this, I said I need to go to the Paleo Cave and I need to sleep as soon as it's done because it's going to be crazy. Yo, Ailey, you there? We may be having way more technical difficulties than we ever imagined. It's looking pretty hit, guys. It's looking pretty hit. Oh. Yo, Ailey, we're going to need those Skojis. I don't know where they are. I think one of the kids snagged them. It's a good possibility. I don't know where they would have put them. But we have to, number one, gonna need those buggers. Number two, we need to have some kind of like a safe. Anything like that. Fireproof, waterproof, kid-proof, all that stuff. I need you guys to get on that stat. Yeah. Okay. Oh, look at that. Yes, very good. Bethany in the comments says, still can't post Robinette's. She just tried. This is what's going on, guys. How bad is this, by the way? Robinette's is a great place. It's a great place. It's absolutely amazing. Let's see. Dude, if this is the way it's going to be all day long and I'm just going to have to read it, it's going to be a bummer, but we're just going to have to move forward because this is absolutely terrible. And we're a really professional show. What is happening here? If playback doesn't begin shortly, it's not beginning shortly. It's showing me this guy's face. When did Wolfman Jack get a spot on the news? Oh, I don't mean to be busting on Wolfman Jack, but that's the case. Having major problems. We're just going to go ahead and talk about it. The Franjak family said they traveled from Crown Point, Indiana to, how is that, Sevierville, Tennessee, to celebrate a grandmother's birthday. Quote, one of our bucket list things was to see a bear. What? I mean, okay, I get it. Why not just go to the zoo? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do this? Why say, oh, it's on our bucket list? Just go to the zoo. Right? Father Brian Franzak. How do you pronounce it? It always confused me a little bit. The NCZAK Franzak told WBBM TV. The family said they were shocked, however, when a bear came walking up the driveway of their vacation home and headed straight for their SUV. They would not be shocked if they were paying attention to the topics on this program. We talk about this stuff all the time. In fact, bears, it seems like, what would you say? It's bears, raccoons, what else? Snakes. Those seem to be like the ones that are really causing a lot of problems. And deer, increasingly, deer are now really ramping up the game, ramping it up. You know, but they wouldn't be shocked if they were paying attention to this show. We've been covering the Great Animal Uprising now for what, 3 weeks now? Is that what we've been doing? It's the best way to start your day. I just screamed, oh my gosh, the bear is here. The bear, like there's one. And she's like, I heard there's a bear here, you know, in town. I was really hoping he'd make an appearance. What? The bear is in the driveway. Man, I wish I had that on video because we should songify that. The bear is here. The bear is in the driveway. Yeah, I can just imagine how Carly said that. Yeah. They said they were at go-karts racing, and Grandpa got a call that a bear is in their car. Wow, this is Olivia, part of the family. And we couldn't believe it at first. Oh, bear's in the car. Oh, so it's not just like in the driveway. That bugger's straight up in the car. We thought my uncle got dressed up as a bear and went into the car. The Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency recommends residents and visitors keep vehicle doors locked at all times. We've been telling people that now for a while. Look, you never know. You never know if a bear, a deer, a raccoon, whatever, is going to show up and open up the door and drive off with your car. You don't know. You don't know. They're doing crazy things nowadays. They have learned, guys. They're learning to do drugs. They are learning to do drugs. Dolphins even. Learning to do, huffing on pufferfish, passing it around, puff, puff, pass. Straight up. Adam in the comments asking, is it all my fault? Yes, did big tech's coming against me? It's all your fault, man. It is all your fault. No, I'm telling you. It's probably a bunch of different reasons, man. I definitely want to include you in that because I think you'd consider that an honor, in fact. It is. It's an honor to be like, we're part of this together, buddy. We are part of this together. CF says, stealing your pumpkins. Yes, stealing your pumpkins, dude. The bear stole the pumpkins, was stealing trash, climbing on top of cars, trying to get inside houses. Man, the world needs to know this stuff. Oh, the world does not need to know this. No. Oh, it's like spiders, man. Yesterday, having to talk about those spiders, that wasn't even funny. That was not funny. I do not appreciate Ailey and the staff. The organization here is genius, right? Normally today, I mean, look, all things considered, even the fact that some of these videos simply aren't playing, look, you got to roll with what, dance with who you brought sort of thing. But the mere fact that we are up against big tech the way we are, we got the SJW cult at us like crazy. All the video game in the brain people want to shut down the show. And so the mere fact that we are going just full steam ahead, right? Pedal to the metal every single day with small little, road bumps along the way. It's a testimony. It's a testament to the very professional show. Very professional show. Look what the cat dragged in. Family pet brings two-headed snake inside. Look, I'm starting to have second thoughts, and I'm thinking that maybe there's a possibility that maybe the cats are on our side. I think that might be why they're highly sought after by both sides of the great animal war, because I think that's why humans for so long made them deities. You know what I mean? I think that's why why dogs also try to worm their way in to make it appear anyway as if they are man's best friend. is they're trying to really, cause a divide between humans and cats. I think that's what it is. And we feel that we have to push harder than we do. I don't think we need to deify cats. In fact, I strongly discourage that, right? Do not do that. Do not go back to that. Even the cats are like, no, don't do that. Just feed me some food. The snake was very uncoordinated. Well, dude, look at it. Well, would you think it would be very uncoordinated or like super coordinated? What would life be like? Well, we kind of do know because you have the two-headed twins, right? I forget their name. And in fact, I've said before that I would like to interview them, but I would not like to interview them in a way that would be like, oh, he wants to, because it's a spectacle. Like I sincerely am fascinated by their story, and it's inspiring, in fact. I think they're teachers now. I think they are teachers. Oh, yeah, these two snakes. This is not good, guys. But the cat brought it in and said, look, this is, cat brings in presents all the time. It's taking care of business. It's a samurai. We essentially have samurai cats. Okay. They go out and they take care of business. They're an elite force. Wait till they start bringing in the deer. 2 raccoons ejected from inside. There's a lot of animal stories today. And it's supposed to be Family First Friday. Originally, maybe that's a little bit of a mix-up, because originally it was supposed to be Fat Shame Friday. We were fat shaming ourselves to fitness, but that ended up turning into Weight Watcher Wednesday because the meme list was in the wrong, it was in the wrong folder on this very professional show. I got to remind you guys, very professional show all the time. I'll never forget that comment, by the way. That person, sir, you need to be much more professional than this. I'm like, you try to do it, you rando. You rando anon. Using a fake name. Have a letter for your symbol. You don't even have a real face in there. Haven't made a single video in your entire life. That's like backseat drivers, man. The people in the back, they're like, oh, hey, you should maybe consider slowing down 15 feet. You know what I mean? You're like, dude, shut up. I'm the one that's got my foot on this. You better be careful. 2 raccoons ejected from inside California Bank. Now, that actually makes it look, for a second, if I would have only seen the image on the left, I would have thought that is a 2-headed raccoon. Okay, we're going to see. We've been having issues. Let's see. Please tell me this is going to work. Oh, maybe. It's like it wants to work, right? It's like my computer recognizes it, and then it just chills out, and it's like, no, that's okay. I don't think I'm going to do anything with this. We're going to try the stupid technique of just refreshing. Oh, if playback doesn't begin shortly, it's another one of those. This is so terrible, guys. This might be the last time I try it. I don't want to do that every single time. That would just be so ridiculous. And I'm afraid to actually change servers here midstream because I don't want to end up cutting the stream. Oh, man. Is that how that would work? Yeah, try restarting my device. Don't even think about it. Oh, yeah, this is what they're doing. They're saying, oh, if this doesn't work, you need to turn off the show. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we definitely know it's a plot now. We definitely know. But these guys, look, a Peninsula Humane Society, the Peninsula Humane Society, and SPCA, this is in California, said personnel responded to the Chase Bank branch in Redwood City after receiving a call from a bank customer who spotted the animals through a window while using an ATM outside the building. It's not every day. This is a quote. It's not every day an animal organization gets called to deal with a bank break-in. Get used to it. Get used to the break-ins, man. I would say don't you read the news, but the news is always spinning this thing, man. You can't believe them. You can't believe the news. I wish that I could just say it was CNN, but it's not. It's UPI.com, NDTV, Mirror. Well, Mirror's, I think, getting on the ball. I think Mirror is starting to figure out. Because I think they have people watching the show. They monitor the show. They see who's popularizing these articles. And by the way, if you love the articles that we talk about, and if you want to see the video, right? If you're like, I wanted to see the video of the raccoons inside. I do too. It's breaking my heart, man. It is breaking my heart. But if you want to, remember, PaleocratDiaries.com. We've been doing this. We've been faithful. That once the show's over, we go in right away, we upload the show, and we put in a table of contents. And in the table of contents, the left column is a timestamp. So you can just click on the time and it will send you straight to the YouTube video beginning at that time. You can also, of course, copy and paste that URL. So you can copy the URL and it will copy the video at the time that you want. And if you want to follow the article and you say, I really like that article, I want to share it with my friends, you can go ahead and we put a topic next to the timestamp. You can go to that topic and you say, I remember that. That was a hilarious topic or whatever. Copy the URL, share that with your friends. Make sure to give credit where it's due. We here at Paleocrat Diaries love you. Yeah. But it's not every day that they deal with a break-in. But since the bank robbers were masked bandits of the wildlife kind, we are indeed the appropriate responders. Yeah, it's true. Apparently, the raccoons were reluctant to leave. Yeah, they probably wanted the money. They're like, look, I don't think you understand. We mean business here. Maybe you didn't see the news of what we did to the CNN anchor outside the White House. They probably did not. They probably did not. Yeah, because they chased him away. I don't know if you guys remember that. That's a powerful story, by the way. You know, so some of the raccoons, you know, we said it's a divided group. They've obviously had some people defect, and now they're on the side of the good guys. They are MAGA raccoons, for sure. The bank managers let our rescue staff into the bank, and after about 10 minutes of chasing the raccoons around the bank, we were finally able to safely shoo them outside. You know, the thing is, you should have taken them into custody. Apparently, they didn't want to leave. As I said, yes, obviously, they did not want to leave. They didn't want to leave. Yeah. Here we go. Fox 17, Ohio sheriff offers to help celebrities leave the U.S. if Trump is reelected. Let's see here. I'll even help them pack. Look at this guy. Don't you just know that guy's boss? Look at his mustache. Let's see if we can zoom that bugger in even closer. Can we? There we go. Look at this guy's mustachio. You just know his boss. You're like, dude, he reminds me, what's the name of that show, man? Back in the 80s. The guy that did all the commercials with the oatmeal. Who wore cowboy hats all the time. Didn't he play a sheriff? Man, I know that's really a lot of random information. I'm hoping that the team can put that all together. Ailey, I know you're monitoring this right now. Just get on that. It might actually be the same guy. It might be the same guy. Oh my gosh. No stress. Yeah, Bethany in the comments says, no stress. It's just a Friday. Look, you know, it's one of those things, but it's bumming me out because here's the thing. Some of the things I wanted to show, like, of course, we want to show the raccoons. We want to show the bear get inside, you know. I mean, it ain't right. And right now, I mean, we've got some serious issues going on with the internet. Right? And it's a big time bummer. Our extensions are not even active. Oh, the extension just went active. Let's see this thing. Okay, I'm going to be a little bit nervous. I'm hoping it's not going to end up doing anything too terrible, but we're going to see. Okay, we're going to see what happens. So bear with me. If it does a little bit of a glitch, my hope is that it doesn't stop the stream. If it stops the stream, well, guys, have a great weekend. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you so much, man. I'm trying to make this thing happen. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to try to switch over to the 5G extension, and we're going to see if this helps, okay? Cross your fingers, okay? Raise the glass real high. Chug as hard as you can. And wish me luck. As I said, if it glitches, I apologize. If it ends up shutting off, I really do. I'm sincere. But we have to have it. We have to have it. Because there's a whole bunch of videos. A sheriff in Ohio is going viral again after promising he'd help celebrities leave the United States if President Donald Trump is reelected. In a press release shared on Facebook, Butler County Sheriff Richard K. Jones stated that he'd pay for a one-way ticket for any celebrity that wants to leave the country, even offering to help them back. To help them back, yes. Not help them back. Yes, and I've been told that we lost connection for a brief moment. It's okay. It's okay. Well, we need to see now. We're gonna do this one more shot, man. We're not gonna play around with this forever. But I really want to see, did this work? Did this make it? So that we can go ahead and view it now. Let's find out. So it's taking a nanosecond, and it's not looking like it's going to do it. This is just outrageous, man. This is very, very, very outrageous. And it's so unfortunate, man. It actually breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because we can't even watch the one with the bear. We'll do like stop motion. Watch this. Oh, so the bear's moving. Yeah, I'm really good at this, guys. It's like that stop motion. Just imagine. It's claymation. It's claymations. Oh, do it, homeboy opened up the door. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna do this. Yeah, look real close, guys. Just suspended disbelief. Suspended disbelief, guys. Oh, man. And he's just hopping in. He's hopping in the back. Oh, look at him. Look at this bugger. He's like peeking back. He's thinking, oh, no, I'm busted. What were you going back there for? Obviously something naughty, man. Obviously something very naughty. Oh, and this guy's he's recording from a distance. The bear got in. Did he close the door? Did he close? Oh, no, he got back out. He got back. He's testing the waters. He's testing the waters. Oh, he's going around the car. Did he get in the front? Oh, and then the family, look at their faces. They have time. They turn on. They're like, oh, let's get lined up real good. Probably TikTokers or wannabe TikTokers. They want to be TikTokers, guys. Unbelievable. Yeah, so I apologize. Okay, I've been told Ailey in the comment section. It's the actor Wilford Brimley. He did the Quaker Oats commercials, and apparently he was on TV shows like The Waltons. Yeah, talking about the sheriff. But he's helping people to pack. He's saying, look, all these celebrities, man. These celebrities, they're threatening to do it. They threatened in 2016, and none of them left. He said this happened in 2016, and it's believed not one celebrity left it. Did anybody? You know, it wasn't even until later. Did Tom Hanks leave? Who was it that left? I think it's Tom Hanks. He ended up leaving. He moved somewhere else, if I remember correctly. But it wasn't anything to do with 2016. And it appears the same threats are being made this election year. By the way, this is from a press release. The Butler County Sheriff's Office sent out a press release. He's not messing around, man. Sheriff Jones would like to extend an invitation to put money toward a one-way ticket for any celebrity that would like to leave the country this time around if President Trump is reelected. Heck, I'd even help him pack. Oh. Who would volunteer for that, by the way? Oh, Johnny Depp. Yeah, in the comments, Johnny Depp. No, Johnny Depp's been gone. He moved to France. That was years ago. That was years ago. I think it was before 2016. Yeah. Oh, and see, I don't even think I'll be able to play his video. No. Unbelievable, man. The internet connection is down. It is down. Oh, this is outrageous, guys. This is because, okay, so here's the thing. So yesterday, we're gonna roll with this. We have to roll with this. Very professional. So here's the thing. So right here is Kamala Harris's husband. And did any of you catch, by the way, where Joe Biden called her Kamala? Did you hear that? She's accused people, speaking specifically of Tucker Carlson, saying, oh, you called me Kamala. That's racist. That's racist. To call me Kamala. I think everybody did. I think everybody called her Kamala, right? Just the way it is. I don't sit there and get ticked off if somebody, spells my name with an A in it. Or if somebody calls me Jeremy. I don't really like that. I don't really like Jeremy Bannister. It's always a certain age, man. It's always a certain demographic. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of older white ladies. They'll be like, hey, Jeremy. And I'm like, oh, I know you're talking to me. I like you, but come on, no. I had a dude recently, and this is one of those things. I had somebody from a long time ago, right? Somebody back in high school reach out to me. He watched a video, and he's like, this is a very professional show. And he said, you're really good at what you do, man. You're really good. But he called me Jerry. And so right away when I saw that, I knew. I said, it's a guy from high school. People used to call me Jerry all the time. And, I remember my mom hated it. In fact, she didn't want my name to be Jeremy because she was afraid people would call me Jerry. And so, growing up, Once I think it was like maybe 7th grade or so, something like that, people started calling me Jerry. And I didn't fight back. Whatever. I do now, right? I'm like, Jeremiah just is powerful, right? You got to keep Jeremiah. But the thing is Jerry, so the guy called me. Well, people used to call the house all the time and say, they'd call my mom. And they'd be like, yeah, they'd say, is Jerry home? And my mom, she'd answer the phone and she'd go, Jerry. And they say, yes, Jerry. And she's like, I'm sorry, you must have the wrong number. She'd hang up. They'd call back like 3 times. Is Jerry there? I'm sorry. Yeah, you called a minute ago. Yeah, you got the wrong number. And they try again. Is this the home, the Bannister residence? Yes. Is Jerry Bannister there? Jerry? Oh, you mean Jeremiah? Yes. Oh, she hated it, man. She hated it. But this guy comes out. And look at him. I mean, this guy's obviously beta. He's mega time beta. Look at his face. Doesn't he just scream beta? I mean, he looks like the husband of every, female mega pastor. Doesn't he? Well, just any female pastor. If she's not a lesbian, if she's, straight and married, not a man-loathing feminist or something, and she decides to get married, and she may still be the man-loathing feminist and get married if it's somebody like this. But look at his face. So he comes out, and for the record, maybe we can scooch at least forward and get an image of this. Okay, so he's like, yay, and look. So this guy that he's walking up to, not masked, look at this. Look at how not socially distanced this scene is, guys. Look at that. Where's the outcry? He introduces himself as the husband of the next president of the United States. That is now, how many times, man, has Kamala introduced herself and talked about herself as the next president of the United States? Then you have this guy, Captain Beta. He comes up there, and look at, where are the masks, man? Especially this person on the far right. I mean, there's a lot of underlying condition happening there. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's true though, isn't it? A lot of underlying condition happening. Oh no. They're after me, guys. They are after me. Oh, and no, there's no way I can show this one. You actually have to be able to see this. We'll save this one for Monday. Because this is good, man. And this is for the ladies. Because I'm throwing that stuff out for the ladies. We got a lot of the women who watch the program. They love the show. They do. They love the show. They keep up with it. Some of them send memes. They're always hilarious, by the way. If you want to send memes and you want to send funny stories or serious stories that you'd like for me to cover, make sure to send them to paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. So, this one, though, Stylist Water Bottle Hack shows why you don't need to buy expensive hair curlers. Man, I wish my mom would have known this back in, the few occasions, by the way, that, I'd go out and do something fancy. And I remember, do you remember back in the day when it was, cool to have not only a mullet, but to have, you have straight hair on top or it's kind of spiked, and that the back is this kind of real nasty looking curly, almost like spaghetti curls, right? Real little curls, kind of greasy looking. And for some reason that was popular and people was like, oh man, this is really cool. And I remember seeing 8th graders, they all had this haircut, and I should have known, they were chewing skull and stuff. I should have been like, I don't know about that. These guys making a lot of bad decisions in their lives. But the thing is, I remember I went out one time, I was going to go out with my grandma, and my mom, she'd always want to dress me up. And she'd say, oh, you got to wear this sweater. And she put on this sweater, and it was one that I really didn't like, right? My grandma always got me pretty good sweaters for the most part. But every once in a while, she'd give me a sweater that was not necessarily the best one. And so I'd kind of tuck that, a certain part of the closet that you don't look to very often. But my mom would always find it. I think she knew that's why I put them there. And so or maybe she just thought, well, that's grandma's part, of the closet. So she just goes and, her family or whatever. So she puts that on, and I told her I was really sad because I couldn't get this haircut. I couldn't get the perm necessary for this haircut, and I was trying to describe it to her, and I must have forgotten to tell her greasy curls. I just said it's kind of curly in the back because she's like, oh, I got you covered. Man, she used And I didn't even really have a mullet. It was just kind of poofy in the back. And she used just a hot iron, man, a hot curler. Right? And I did not like that. I got a little bit on my neck. I'm like, ah! I'm crying. It burned the rest of the day. Oh, man. And dude, I ended up leaving. And it's just like these ridiculous curls out the back. I really hope there's not a picture of that. I really hope. I should have said greasy haircut. I should have. Greasy curls, Mom. Greasy curls. In the comment section, I hate when my name is mispronounced. Yeah, I can only imagine, Yeah. Another one. That's why. Oh, yeah, Bethany. That's when people call me Beth. CF says hockey hair. Dude, yes. Hockey hair. Oh, dude, yes. Oh, we might have some real hockey enthusiasts, though, in this chat. And they might not necessarily like that. They may not like that. Oh, man. Let's see here. So I can't show you that because it's got to be a video. This one, another one. Deer crashes through front window of Pennsylvania salon. Here's the thing, guys. What we're going to do, I'm going to share these videos today, right? I mean, we're going to just have to. People have to be able to see the videos. They have to be able to see them. And, so far, every single time I've tried to refresh anything to see the video, it does this weird glitchy thing like you just saw. And then what happens? Oh, you can't see the video. Oh, this is a picture. Oh, she may not have actually even gotten a video. Jennifer Brady, we're still going to post those videos. We're still going to post them. Oh, because I'm mad. I'm mad. I might even do some redos of those specific ones just so we get good reactions. After the show's over, we're going to reset everything. I'm going to make a video, and we're going to post it at youtube.com/paleocrat. Period. Because we have to have I need to see it. Everything inside of me is screaming. Fire and fury. Jennifer Brady, owner of JB's Barbershop in Downingtown, said security cameras at the business were recording about 5 a.m. Wednesday when the deer crashed through a front window and the animal was still inside when she arrived for work 4 hours later. So that bugger was just kind of chilling. My dad went into a building one time. It was a Christian bookstore. And I guess he was in there. He walked in and he says when he walked in, man, it was glass everywhere. People are like freaking out and everything. And he said apparently a deer had busted through the window of the Christian bookstore and was just booking it all over the place. Just, knocking everything down. Yeah. I can't even imagine. What would you do in that situation? I mean, I've been trained. Dr. Derek, by the way. I mentioned him yesterday. The same video, Paleo Naughty. It's a great video. Dr. Derek. He's our official doctor over here at Paleocrat Diaries, and keeps us in a lot of good health. He's advising us on the program that we're doing for the Jihad on Fat. But he talks about it in his video, his health video. He talks about what it's like, what you need to do to prepare yourself for a situation that's really sudden, out of the blue, involving an animal that's freaking you out. What do? You got to watch the video. It was like a 6-point buck. I'm staring at it. I was like, I can't believe this right now. And then the thing started going crazy, jumping up on the station. Brady said the deer jumped back out through the broken window and ran off into the distance. It was taken over. It thought that it had it. It was like, look, if I bust in here, I'm looking around. Maybe it was upset because it was looking for a specific kind of conditioner. And it's like, you don't have my kind of conditioner. Very upset about that. He needs the kind, what is it, phenomenal? It's the kind for men that helps it helps the hair to get thicker. Maybe that deer is experiencing some buck pattern baldness. Bakery mocked for frozen Elsa cake. Okay, we talked about another cake situation. We talked about another cake situation earlier this week that was really bad. And so we're going to have to see, how does this one measure up, you guys? And if do you guys have any really terrible cake stories or animal stories, please share them. Make sure, and look, if you don't like getting on email, I know people, that they're like, look, I don't even like going in my email anymore. It's just a big trash bin at this point. You're welcome to share stuff with us either at Facebook, okay, or on Twitter, and you can do that at Paleocrat, my page, or you can just add me as a friend at jeremiah.bannister. So, all right. And you can just post them right to my wall. Making a cake from scratch is never easy. So there's nothing wrong with going to a professional to ensure the tasty treat looks just like the masterpiece you're after. That's normally true. We you know, we eat a lot of dirt cake at this house. Everybody just loves dirt cake, and it's kind of easy to make, and it's a lot of fun. And so, you know, we've never really had to go out for this. Although we did have a person send a cake to our daughter one time while she was in the hospital, and sent a cake, and it was a TARDIS, right, from Doctor Who. And it was awesome. It was actually from Canada, and it tasted delicious. Absolutely delicious. Very expensive, but they gave it to us, right? But what happens when the baker gets it incredibly wrong? As I said, we've seen this. A Frozen-themed birthday cake has blown up online for all the wrong reasons. The cake, which is supposed to resemble one of the main characters from the kids' film Frozen, is supposed to resemble, Snow Queen Elsa. It's been brutally mocked. So apparently the baker decided the easiest way to make it look 3D was by adding graphic lines in a darker skin color and a red circle on the cheek. What does this thing look like? Oh my gosh. Oh no. Let's get this thing over here in the big... Oh my gosh, dude. It's Elsa. Can you see it? Can you guys see that a little bit? You know what I'm saying? If you squint really hard and punch yourself in the face, can you see that? You're like, oh, yeah, I think, oh, there she is. Oh my gosh, dude. It's kind of like photography. You know what I'm saying? Like people, I know some folks. I know some great photographers, by the way. I have a friend, Bobby, down in Georgia. That guy it blows my mind. In fact, I didn't even ever know that he was into photography really in the first place. And maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I don't know the backstory behind it. But I know that now it's all he does. I mean, he's traveling all over, finding different locations. He's documenting all this stuff with great photos, man. He's buying equipment for the photography. But I remember when you started to see a boom in the availability of cameras. And there's always like a pro and a con to the broadening availability of anything. You know, take, for example, music. People can make music now all over the place. And they can make it at their home. People can make shows on their own, like this one, right? We try. We try really hard. But people, it's broadened the availability of producing things and creating things. And so the problem is, though, is that because it's broadened, you're going to get a lot of fallout from that. You're going to get a lot of dumb soundtracks. I've heard a lot of that. And it's amazing, actually, to find out just how many people actually like it. And so, I mean, I guess in a way, you know, look, if you get, you know, a bunch of views on it or you get some sales and you're having fun, you're doing your thing, so what, right? But from an aesthetic point of view, you can be honest and say, yeah, that thing's hot trash. Like this right here. I mean, come on now. There's no way. Who made this and thought, dude, it looks like Elsa. It looks like Elsa. Oh. It reminds me of the Gelada Baboons. And if you haven't seen, there's a really excellent video. And I don't know if it's Attenborough that does the voiceover for that, the narration. But basically they're following these Gelada baboons. And it's actually amazing and a little bit unsettling for some people because it's one of those things that just looks awfully darn human. It just does. The interaction with them, the way that the harem master is watching and keeping an eye on the kids, keeping the young males at bay, how the males are walking around kind of in packs, kind of showing themselves off, chilling out. You know, I mean, you can imagine, you know, Staying Alive, the Bee Gees playing in the background, watching these buggers walking around trying to woo the ladies, and how the ladies will sometimes evade the harem master and go off, and when they're kind of smiling and laughing and their gums go really high, so I mean, you can tell they're smiling, right? I mean, it's really high, and they're covering their faces, trying to keep that, so they know that that's a sign. They know what that means and what that communicates to one another, and they cover it up and stuff. And there's even a fight, man. There's a fight scene in it, which is pretty crazy, actually. And by the way, these buggers just chat all day long. You know, they move around in these huge, like, kind of societies. I mean, there are massive numbers of them. And just all day, They're just eating off the ground, sharing with each other, talking. And just you can hear chatter everywhere. It's amazing, actually. It's a stunning video. But there's a fight. And in that fight, the ordinary rule, right, in observing these things, is that if you have a child with you, and because the harem master doesn't like that the young male shows up and is kind of like, I kind of want the chick. and he's like, I don't know about this. But he decides, rather than going out by himself, he grabs one of the little kids. And he brings one of the little gelada baboons with him to go confront this male, this prospect. Well, the young male apparently had no manners, because the young male decided that he was going to break the rule and he was going to fight even with the kid on the back of the harem master. Okay? So they get in this fight. The kid falls off. One of the moms comes up, grabs that little bugger. He's hurt. They rolled over him. I mean, it's a major time fight. If you've never seen these things fight, it's crazy. Hair flying, right? And they're these baboons that have really long hair. It's almost like a mix of a lion and a baboon. It's wild. You got to see it. And so the thing is, one of the moms grabs this baby, books off. The other moms come, and they're just mad. Blah, 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 and they're getting the young prospect guy away. How dare you? Right? They get him away. But they're also mad at the dad. And you can see the dad, you can see his shame, and he turns his head. I mean, you can see they're shaming him. They're mad at him because the little baby was hurt. And then the scene that's the most, it's stunning to see, is to see the little baboon's arm like this. And he's looking up at the mom, and the mom is analyzing the elbow that was hurt. This looks like one of them. I mean, maybe she thought that was Frozen. Maybe somebody's made a Frozen like that, and she's like, I didn't know. I boycotted Disney a long time ago. Girl 8 pulls a 1,500-year-old sword from a lake in Sweden. Goodness gracious alive. If you guys, saw that, would you even, right out of the gate, would you think that that's a sword? Unbelievable. An 8-year-old found a pre-Viking era sword while swimming in a lake in Sweden. Her name is Saga. Yeah, that's dope. Banachek found the relic in the Vitestern Lake while at her family's holiday home in Jönköping County. Is it Jönköping? How would you pronounce that? Yeah. By the way, I mislabeled a group yesterday, man. What was it? Arachnologist. I said anachronologist. Yeah, it's an ologist of some anachronisms. I did it twice. I heard it. I said, "Oh man, I think I corrected that." Oh no, I didn't. It's a specialty craft. It's an elite group. You probably never heard of them. It's that elite. Yeah, it's that elite, guys. Trust me. Oh man. The sword was initially reported to be 1,000 years old, but experts at a local museum now believe it may date around 1,500 years. Yeah. Yeah, well, dude, it's not every day that you step on a sword in the lake. It's not. It's not. Well, it depends on where you live. I mean, you might live near a lake and you're stepping in a sword every day. But maybe it's the reason you don't is because if you were, number one, you'd be telling your little one, dude, don't step in that lake. Like every day we step into the lake and there's freaking swords. Right through the foot. Right through the foot. That's one of the reasons why, it freaked me out, seaweed and stuff growing up. We grew up right outside a place called St. Mary's Lake. Okay, St. Mary's Lake, beautiful little private lake. And I remember my dad, he was trying to convince me. He was trying to convince me, that there's no such thing as poisonous turtles. There's no such thing as poisonous turtles. And pike don't have teeth the size of jaws. Okay. He was trying to convince me because I was a little bit nervous about it, right? I was years ahead on the animal uprising, guys. There might be a little bit of paranoia involved in this. But the thing is that he's trying to convince me, and he was doing a decent job, actually. I was kind of like, okay, I'm getting it. I know my one friend told me there's poisonous turtles, but I kind of trust my dad. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. He's out here all the time. He's fishing all the time. And so, I have reason to trust him. And he's like, believe me, son, I know what I'm talking about. And he's bringing in the boat, And as he's bringing in the boat, all of a sudden, he goes, ah, and he lifts up his foot, and there is a bullhead. There is a bullhead stuck to the bottom of his foot. And it has one of those little, things, the little daggy things under its fin. And it was stuck into his foot. And he pulled it out. He's like, ugh, and he pulls it out, and blood starts draining out. And I'm like, poisonous turtles are real. I'm like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. My dad has no clue, man. No clue. Oh, I love Family Fridays, man. Family First Fridays and Femininity Friday. We're gonna have a lot of stuff in the meme section about femininity, man. About the ladies. About family. Man bounces soap bubble 290 times for Guinness record. I think I may have bounced it a little bit more. Maybe a little bit less. Maybe a little less. Here, hold on a second. We have to confirm this. Hold on. This is important. I try not to do too many intrusions, right? Because I know that, Ailey's probably on it trying to figure out what's going on with the internet and why we're not able to show any of these videos. Let's see. Yo, Ailey. Yeah, so we got to find this thing out. We need to know for sure. Now, let's see if I can get her voice up here. Right, let's see. Until we get a better intercom, guys. We're using what we got.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, just a quick reminder. Can you look in the files real quick and see, have I bounced a soap bubble on my hand more or less than 290 times? Do we have that on record? Oh, geez.
I'll have to go check the records.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Probably in the file of things you could not imagine that I did, but that I was the champion of and took great pride in doing. That's the actual name of the file. She said she's going to get right on that. Oh, man. Yeah, you don't do it. Make somebody else do it. Hold on. We got to tell them that. Here. Yeah, don't do that. Make somebody else do it. Make Wolfgang or Little Lucian. Give him the pink typewriter or the yellow one. The pink or the yellow typewriter, the one with the mouse, and just get him on it real quick, and just say as long as it takes. Just look really hard to see if I ended up ever bouncing a bubble 290 times, more or less, because there's a Guinness Book record on the line with this. Okay, you've heard of being twinkle-toed. How about being twinkle-handed like Chang Ut, as he bounced a soap bubble on his hand? See, this is where I wish I could watch it. And it's just going to freeze on me. We're definitely going to have to... Oh, okay. Oh, so he's using a glove. He's using a glove. That's baloney, man. That is baloney. Oh, it's just glitch. I guess it would be kind of boring, though. I mean, you're watching like 290 times. Who's going to watch that? Oh my gosh. Taiwan student broke a Guinness Book World Record when he was able to bounce a soap bubble 290 times on his hand before it popped. The thing is, he's cheating. He used a glove. I'm skipping right over. We're not even going to waste my time. Not even going to waste my time. The last funny one, because we started a little bit late. And remember, if you like any of these stories, we're going to share them. We are going to share the videos of them, okay, on paleocratdiaries.com. And today at paleocratdiaries.com, what I'm going to do is, instead of just posting it to YouTube, okay, because as much as, YouTube, they're going to come after me, guys. That's just the way this is going to work. And you'll know why here in, 3 minutes. But the thing is, we got to get people over to paleocratdiaries.com. It's just got to happen. That is the place to go. Number one, YouTube doesn't allow us to link to hyperlink any of the articles or videos that we talk about. You can do the timestamps, which is cool, because then you can do like a table of content. You say, I want to see this specific one, or I want to share that specific story with my friends. You can do that. That makes it easy. But they don't allow you to link. You can link the articles, but it's going to end up being just a bazillion. You can't hyperlink it where you just cover up the words and just, kind of replace it. Okay, replace the words with a link, and it underlines. You can click on it, and it goes where you want it to go. But you can do that at paleocratdiaries.com. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, after the show is over, we're going to work on this. And today, okay, today, by dinner time, you will have a video. And oh man, I'm divided. I'm wondering if I should do what is it, man? An unlisted live stream of kind of an after party, and we'll figure it out. I'll post an announcement because it's either going to be pre-recorded and just shared so you can just watch it, where I'll do reactions and then just share the reactions so you can see the videos and we can have fun with that, or I'll do another live stream and we'll have a lot of fun. Maybe even add some extra videos just for fun Fridays. So, okay, there's apparently a game. We're not going to go into great detail. Game puts you in the perspective. Oh, come on now. This is at Pupperish by Edmund. It's just that, just Edmund. And look at his face. Come on, Edmund. What's your last name? Maybe he doesn't have one. Maybe it's kind of like Prince. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry. The artist formerly known as Prince. This game puts you in the perspective of a gang of cats to solve crimes. This actually seems kind of fun. It's set in an island in Maine, so you're basically like, from the perspective of a cat. You're going around doing your thing. Look at that tail, dude. I don't know about that tail. It looks like a golf club. I don't know. Like, everything else looks so dope, and then that tail's kind of like, what's up with that? What is up with that thing? And it seems very stiff. You know what I mean? Like, the people who made the rest of the cat, they're like, you did a great job. And all of this stuff, I mean, it's got great graphics. Look around. It looks really beautiful. You got the changing of the trees and everything. The rocks look pretty real. Even the light coming off the fur in the back, kind of looking real. And then they were like, okay, well, what do we want to put Bob on over here? And everyone's like, Bob, I thought, put him on the duty of, cleaning up the bathroom. And they're like, no, he needs something to do. And they said, oh, have him make the tail. Big mistake. Bob should have been cleaning the bathroom. But as you can see, the cats are getting together in little groups here, walking around. Oh, and look at all their tails. Look at this one, man. This one's just doing, just straight up, dude. Broomstick stuff. Fire Bob, dude. Fire Bob stat. Like, right away. He's got to go. He has got to go. All right. Now, we are going to be moving on to some serious business. Now, look, I'm not going to play this song every show, but we released it this week. We've had a lot of fun. Oh, my gosh. No. I have a video. Of kids dancing and howling at the sun, watching this show on the big screen at home, raising their little glasses of juice very high while listening to this song. Oh, no. That's why. That is why. Because, look, big tech is obviously afraid, not only, we're bringing awareness to the animal uprising, but that we are making a big impact on the ladies, and we're making a big impact on the kids. Kids love the show. Moms love the show. I had to ask permission, too. I said, look, it is recorded inside of a home. I said, look, I need to get permission. I'm not just going to share, these details. I'm glad you shared them with me. They gave me permission. This is driving me nuts. I wanted to share it so bad. It is so adorable hearing this music and just seeing these little kids jumping around and howling over and over and over. And I was told, it's like their new favorite song. Jamming out. Little dancers. The little boy is a boy and a girl. Beautiful kids, by the way. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful children. And, the boy just going bonkers, man. Ow, ow. I mean, he's just going nuts. And the girl, she's down, she's got her cup up and she's doing this little jam. And I was like, man, these kids are going to grow up and be leaders, man. They are going to be leaders. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead. Before we talk about this, we got to get into it. So look, make sure, pour this glass of coffee. I just poured mine. Yep. Pour it good and strong. If you got a burger, raise your burger. Like our nighttime viewer there in India. We're always grateful for him. No matter what you're drinking, no matter what you're eating, raise it high. Because today is the day the Lord has made. And we're going to rejoice. We're going to be glad in it, no matter how terrible and no matter how difficult and no matter how evil these times are. It's a day the Lord's made. And we're here. And we're a wolf pack. So here we go, guys. We got to get ready. Let's see. Oh, news, banner. Yeah, let's switch over to this. What? Yeah, more. Oh, are they trying to take off Wolfie's song? No, they're not. No, they're not. Oh, that was my mistake. Rarely ever happens, guys. Very professional. All right, let's go, guys. Pumped up. Here we go. We've got an amazing day ahead. Raise those hands to the sun and howl with all your heart, praising the Lord with everything you got. It might be hard. You may want to give up. Don't. And know that no matter what, you ain't alone. Brothers and sisters, you are not alone. I have been assured in the comments, I have been assured that howling is in full swing in one household. For sure. And I'm grateful for all of you out there howling away at the sun, letting everybody know that we're alive, that we're here to be happy, to be joyous, to be peaceful, but also to be warriors, because we have to know what's going on. And here's one of the things going on. You want to talk about some happy warriors? Libertas Christian School sues to stop closure by Michigan Governor Whitmer's administration. This is where I wish I could, some of the videos may come into play a little bit more than just the fun stuff. And look, I have to say this. My kids go to Sacred Heart Academy. Okay, and people make major sacrifices to send their kids there. I had to explain this to some Yahoo that watched a video of mine where I'm talking about what brought us back to the faith, and I'm talking about the school and how special the school is and how there was a fundraiser for the school, which is why I made the video. After a year, I broke silence. I think 16 months, no videos, no social media, no blogs, no podcasts, no interviews, debates, no panels, no nothing. For like 16 months. I was just going to church as often as I could. I went over 300 times in 1 year. In fact, if I had to guess, I think I was going basically an average of about 6 days a week. I mean, that's just the way it was. And this person's like, oh, you asked for money. And I'm like, not for me. And he's like, it's the responsibility of the dad. I'm like, bro, look who you're talking to, you weirdo. Man, I'm on the air 2 hours a day. Sometimes more, putting in tons of hours to edit, tons of hours to assemble stuff, tons of hours to make these thumbnails, tons of hours trying to network and coordinate with other people, making these sacrifices, hoping that God will bless this work because we're having fun and loving him, and because we're advancing the cause, and because we're taking on the devil day in and day out. We are. It's what we're doing. We're not just fighting against flesh and blood. I mean, look, we talk about people, but these are bigger matters than that. We're equipping multiple generations, transgenerational things happening, just like Libertas. Libertas, look, man, they do this all the time. Great place, by the way. Great place. And I said, look, I'm putting that all on the line for what, man? Hoping that people will become members for $5 a month. Little bit by little bit by little bit. Doesn't matter. To help out, to just to offset the cost, because we cover it already right now. So we know what it's like to sacrifice. You listening, you know what it's like to sacrifice. You know how hard it can be to say, look, I need to teach my kids at home, or I need to send them to private school because I don't want that SJW crap shoved down my children's throats. And that ain't the only thing they want to shove down the throats, to be honest, and not to be too crude. Libertas Christian School, a pre-K through 12th grade Christian school serving 265 students in Hudsonville, Michigan, has filed a lawsuit with the U.S. District Court, Western District of Michigan, to stop threats of imprisonment and promises by Governor Whitmer's administration to shut down the school. Now, why? Why is this, by the way? Let's find out. Through the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Ain't that a thing? Ain't that a thing? What a schemester. The Empress is a schemester. She's a grotesque partisan dog. Gross. A nasty human. Gross. I said it. Gretchen Whitmer is gross. Gretchen Whitmer is a nasty human. Gretchen Whitmer totally sucks. I pray that the damage that she does will be minimal. And that we will We will vote Keister to the curb. I wasn't very active last election with that, trying to like get the guy in against her. Wasn't very inspired. We thought it was a joke. I'm inspired now. She's made repeated demands on the school since September 4th, including the kindergartners always wear masks while in school, including during chapel and outdoor recess. There's also been a pattern of threats of civil and criminal penalties delivered by officials. So officials are showing up. They're threatening civil and criminal penalties to the school. According to, let's see who this quote's from. Ian Norton, special counsel for the Amistad Project of the Thomas More Society, which is representing Libertas, says this violates the First Amendment rights of assembly and religion for the school's 265 students, as well as parents and staff. It's a shocking and audacious abuse of power, which started on the first day of school on September 4th, and it's continued despite the unanimous ruling by the Michigan Supreme Court declaring Governor Whitmer's related executive orders unlawful. The county's animus toward religion in this case is clear and compelling. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And here's the thing, man. People saying, well, I can tell you what you have to wear, what a religious group has to wear. No, you have to wear that. You have to wear a mask. Dude, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Why not just say, yeah, you got to wear a burqa? Or why not one of those spacesuits? You need to wear a spacesuit. You need to wear some goggles. Why not? Why not do that? This is all pseudoscientific nonsense anyway. There's no one more concerned about the students' health and safety at Libertas Christian School than their parents and the school staff. Duh, dude. This is the thing. Think of the assumptions that go into a state that's going to go to a Christian school like this and threaten imprisonment. Think about that. They really do believe we care more for your children. We care more for their health than you. Screw you, man. Screw you, you crazy loonbirds, authoritarian whack jobs. What am I supposed to do? Say, I disagree with you calmly. No, dude. I don't disagree with them calmly. I tell them to bugger off. Tell them to bugger off. These, you know what? Are people scheduled? Was this to be done yesterday? What, 12:01? I got a text message saying 12:01 there was going to be something done. I wish I would have known earlier. We could have organized and said, dude, let's organize a lot of people around the building, arm in arm, and say, look, dude, I dare you to come in. I dare you, by the way. That's authoritarian crap, dude. We have the right to stand against authoritarian crap. You don't have to sit back. What the heck do you think you're doing? And you know what they do? This was my problem with one of the people, one of our state officials. I talked to her. And I said, look, because they were talking about, well, it's in the courts. It's in the courts. We're going to go through the courts. And I said, well, what about in the meantime? Everybody's losing their jobs. People are losing their ability to pay their rent. They're losing their homes. They're losing their minds. Some of them are losing their lives. And you're going to say, just wait for it to go through the courts. I don't think so. We're done with that crap. You do. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. You do it simultaneously. Can you chew gum and walk at the same time? Is that where we are? Well, just chew gum. Just chew. No, dude, you got to walk. We have to be able to do something. Otherwise, it's like, oh, well, our kids, old daddy was arrested, and we didn't do jack. Our school was shut down. We didn't do jack. No way, man. No way. We will strongly support the students and parents as they stand up to bullies. Dude, yes, authoritarian wackos who are willing to use the full apparatus of the state against the students and parents of Libertas Christian schools. I'm asked this question, MG42 Pillbox. Why would God's children worry about politicians? Love not the world. Because that is a very, very strange way of interpreting love not the world. Yeah, you're seeking peace with your neighbor. In fact, the idea that we just simply allow the world to go on by itself. Look, if you want to be an Amish guy, go ahead and be an Amish guy. If MG42, if you want to be Amish, go be Amish. If you want to be a hermit, dude. That's perfectly fine. But see, here's the thing. You go and you make disciples of nations. We pray for kings and princes. We recognize that there is injustice, but yet at the same time that with the use of the sword, with the wielding of the sword, and you say it is in fact incumbent upon us to insist that the sword be used righteously, that it not be abused. And why? Because Christ has all power in heaven, and on earth given to him. And everything must be subjected to the social kingship of Jesus Christ. That's why. I hope that suffices for you. But your whole love not the world idea, look, it's not loving the world, by the way. It's realizing that we are in it and that we have certain responsibilities. You say it about politicians, why not about family? Well, why would God's children worry about raising kids? Why would God's children worry about, hurting puppies? Just a garbage argument. I'm sorry to come against you so harshly. Maybe you just are, kind of ignorant and stuff. But that's what happens on social media. You start making comments and stuff. So this right here, we can't play the video, I don't think. We'll try. If like every other video. No. Like every other video. Here's the thing. Is that with this right here, you have officials in Michigan talking about the idea that we're supposed to wear masks, not just when we're, let's say, inside of a building with other people, like inside of a gas station or whatever, but even while we're eating. They're pulling the California trick that while you're eating, maybe you should pull it down, eat some food, put it back up, and if you're with other people, try not to talk. Try not to talk. How insane, by the way, is that? These people are anti-humanist, dude. They are post-humanist weirdos. They probably want to be made up of transformer robot parts so they can live forever. Maybe download their brain into a flash drive and put it into a body that will live forever, made of metal that just needs different parts. Pseudoscientific weirdos, by the way. These are fearmongers. These are fearmongers, dude. And this is why they won't talk about the statistics on how this thing plays itself out. They won't do it. Make sure you cover up in between bites. Adam. Yeah, Adam Eichler. We mentioned him earlier. He's a patriot and a hero and a friend. According to a Danish newspaper, Berlingske Trey scientific journal, 3 scientific journals have refused to publish the results of the first major scientific investigation investigating the effect of using masks during the COVID pandemic. Apparently because the results might not show what's politically correct. Yes. It's political censorship. It's political censorship. So they do this massive study. It's the largest and best controlled study on society scale clinical outcomes from masks. This person goes, my money is on masks showed harm. Not just that they didn't prevent, but that they showed harm. Oh, but you can't publish that. Can't publish it. And dude, we need to have the guy on from New Discourses. Because he's on the ball talking about all of the crazy crap that is being published by these groups. All the time. Published by scientific journals. Do you know how many of those things have had to be retracted? Do you know how many of them cannot be replicated? Oh, but they get on. Why is that? Because it's a circle jerk with people with the exact same positions on SJWism. It's the same stuff. If it goes according to the narrative, then it works. If it doesn't, you got to get rid of it. It's like writing a story. It's like writing a story, not to tell the story, but instead to be like, well, I've got an agenda, I have an idea, and let's figure out the characters that I can wrap around this idea to use that. That's what this is, dude. It's so eisegetical to make a comparison to theological terms. Eisegetical rather than exegetical. You're reading stuff in, you're putting stuff in to bolster the case rather than allowing the case to present itself. That's exactly what this is. And when somebody, the largest and best controlled study on the society scale clinical outcomes from masks, it doesn't fit the narrative. They're Mr. Potato Head people. Don't even call them scientists anymore. And if they say, well, the scientists have said, you need to ask who those people are. Because you don't know who the scientists are. It's bullcrap, man. People who talk that way, I understand why they say that, but it also makes no sense. Not in an argument anyway. Or the scientific community. Like it's a community of people, like a church or something. They all get together and they're all there. Hey, what's up, buddy? Florida House of Representatives report shows more than 40% of Florida's COVID-19 deaths may not merit that classification. A recent report in Florida shows that over 40% of the state's COVID-19 deaths may not merit that. Yeah. Dr. Boston shared that in a tweet. Where does it go? Okay. Let's see. You got to go read that. It's over at the Gateway Pundit. And the Gateway Pundit has a bunch of hot takes here from the debate last night. And it's funny because we had so many issues conflicting at the beginning that we didn't really talk about the debate. Maybe I'll add that to the special live stream. Maybe I'll just do a special live stream. Maybe that's what we're going to do. So you got to check paleocratdiaries.com after the show. We're going to make an announcement before dinner time. So let's say before 3 o'clock. We're going to make an announcement. So you can just head over. In fact, you can head over probably around 3 o'clock. And you'll be able to see what our decision is. You should be checking it all the time anyway. But why Facebook far-left activist fact-checking groups like Science Feedback, why it should scare the living crap out of every single American. Why are leftists, third-party fact-checkers, in quotations, being allowed to control the news cycle and to unfairly impugn conservative publishers on Facebook? This is according to Patty McMurray, Patty McMurray, over at the Gateway Pundit. And it was talking specifically, if I can scroll down here, I think that I had it may have actually... Okay, so basically what happened is they're publishing these statistics, including of course, the white coats that all got together for the briefing, talking about Tucker Carlson, by the way, when he shared the CDC numbers, which the CDC shared even more, and it makes it even less scary than before for everybody. For everybody. Yeah. Okay, right here. The violations, talking about 100% fed up, I think. It shared something. Let's see what they shared, because it was on October 11th, 100% fed up received 2 false news violations for the same article on Facebook. The violations were from the far-left activist fact-checking group, Science Feedback, and were both related to the exact same article. Apparently, they wrote an article about the Chinese virologist who fled China out of fear for her safety after claiming that COVID-19 was manufactured in China's only biosafe Level 4 super laboratory. The second paragraph in their article states, quote, while there's not yet clear evidence that the coronavirus originated in the lab where it was being studied, it has not been ruled out as the origin of the global COVID-19 pandemic. So, okay, doesn't that sound easy enough? Who actually disagrees with that? That there's not yet clear evidence that the coronavirus originated in the lab, That's the first thing. That's why I don't buy into the idea that, we know this for sure. I don't play that game. But it hasn't been ruled out. And it's not in a way that's like, oh, it hasn't been ruled out because it's absurd. No, it hasn't been ruled out because there's issues with the idea of the origin in other explanations. And if those issues do not get resolved, then that explanation don't work. That's the way it works. On their website, Science Feedback explained the reason for the violation. Quote, the virus causing COVID-19 most likely evolved in natural wildlife populations before spreading to humans. Think about that real quick. Remember, what was said was there's not yet clear evidence that it originated in a lab, but it hasn't been ruled out. Meaning there's not clear evidence, there's not certain proof that it was evolved in the wild, in wildlife populations. That's what they're saying. They get strikes. They get big trouble, right, for this. 2 strikes on the same article, by the way. And the group that was monitoring that and telling people, well, this is what you can say and what you can't say. What they ended up saying was that the reason why is because the virus causing COVID-19 most likely. They're saying the same thing, by the way, but they're saying it in the inverse. They're the group that says it's most likely, therefore we believe it to be certain. They're not even allowing people to put out, and if they say, well, we're not saying that it's certain. You say, but your actions are, because your actions are saying anybody who's putting out alternative explanations with evidence to try to describe how this thing came, to try to demonstrate why what they claim to be is probably or most likely, why that's not as likely as, something can be most likely to win and still not be very good. You can look at that. Look at the way that it played out. People could say, well, Joe Biden was, during the primaries, most likely to win the primaries. But look at the numbers, man. Look at how people voted for him. And you go, man, okay, so he's not really raking in like significant numbers. He's at a certain threshold. Same thing's true actually with Donald Trump in the primaries, 2016. Which is why a lot of the neocons were mad, because there were so many other Republicans who were all divided with each other that they weren't able to come together and to try to outdo Donald Trump, who at the time was, 36% of the Republican Party was backing it. So he was most likely to win at 36%. So look at the word game, by the way. When someone uses a term like most likely, it denotes that they do not have factual evidence. But instead, they have a strong suspicion that what they're saying is true. From the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, definition of most likely: more likely than not, probably. It will most likely rain tomorrow. But it might not. We know that with the rain. It's funny that they use that exact thing. But this is the kind of thing going on. We were talking about this earlier. It's a little bit out of order. Rod Dreher, the left is coming for Christian schools. Supreme Court nominee, this is an American conservative. Rod Dreher, by the way, I like a lot of his stuff. There's some stuff I do not like. Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett served for nearly 3 years on the board of private Christian schools that effectively barred admission to the children of same-sex parents and made it plain that openly gay and lesbian teachers weren't welcome in the classroom. The AP spoke with more than 24 people who attended or worked at Trinity schools, or former members of People of Praise. They said the community's teachings have been consistent for decades, saying that homosexuality is an abomination against God, sex should occur only within marriage, and marriage should only be between man and woman. Yeah. And they're gassed, by the way. And what did I say? We talked about this earlier with the hot mic moment with Feinstein. It's sitting there saying like, oh my gosh, I think she really does believe this stuff. Because these people don't. They're voodoo people. They're spirit cooking weirdos. They're spirit cooking weirdos, dude. These people are gross. Gross authoritarians that will use religion for power. It's an age, it's a story as old as time. that kind of stuff happens, they'll say that they're religious, but on hot mics, they're like, dude, that person really believes that. Which, by the way, that makes them even worse, doesn't it? Doesn't that make them even worse? Like, it'd be one thing if they were just forthright and said, yeah, I don't believe any of that nonsense. But instead, they say, oh, I do believe it. And they get mad if you say they don't. But then on a hot mic, they criticize people who do. Now, they might say, well, yeah, I do believe it. You know, the Mr. Potato Head Jesus. The Church of Iceland tranny Jesus. I believe in that. And you go, oh, so you are a cultist. You're rolling Play-Doh. That's Sesame Street Jesus. Dreher says, let me explain something to the Associated Press. There's a thing called the Roman Catholic Church, and it teaches that marriage is only between one man and one woman. It also teaches that sex outside of lawful marriage is sinful. It teaches that homosexual acts are sinful. It has done this for almost 2,000 years. Yeah. He talks about how there are many people, pastors, changing stuff up. I heard news even in Battle Creek. News that's going on, you know, of a church that's changing a lot, you know, and they're sneaking on in the Trojan horse, the SJW cult, the critical studies cult. But the thing is, there are a lot of people who still believe in traditional Christianity. There are people who still believe in traditional morality. There are people who still believe in traditional customs and courtesies, ethical codes, gender roles. Here's the thing. ACB tries to be intellectually honest, and she knows that one cannot simply throw aside an authoritative biblical teaching because it doesn't suit contemporary cultural beliefs. And here's the amazing thing. She does that knowing full well that tons of people are doing that right now. They're doing it right now. They don't care what the Bible says. They want to pretend. I see this all the time. I see this in these churches, and it's gone through a cycle, right? Where you've got seeker sensitivity. You know, we can argue whether or not it started with Sola Scriptura. I would place this right at the beginning of this, as well as a number of things through time. The idea that, well, it's just up to my interpretation of what I personally think is true, right? And not every, that's not, I don't want to straw man people. But the thing is that we've gotten to a place where even just going back to the 90s, you say, okay, you've got this seeker sensitivity nonsense. Maybe even the influence of television, by the way, on religion that had a huge impact on this. And if people don't believe that, we'll talk about it next week. We'll talk about it from the book Amusing Ourselves to Death by Neil Postman. He has an entire chapter dedicated to the impact of television as a medium on religion itself and what it's done. And so we can see this coming a mile away. Okay, he wrote that book, what, in the 80s? Something like that, pretty early on. You know, but you're seeing these churches who wanted to bring in seekers. And their whole idea changed. Rather than saying, go out into the world and do that, and then disciple them in churches. Instead, it was, churches need to be the place that we need to, you know, rope and dope the people. And when that ended up happening, they started to change one thing after another thing, after another thing, after another thing, after another thing, because people would come in and go, yeah, that kind of makes me uncomfortable. That kind of makes me uncomfortable. I don't know how I feel about that. And it's this whole, and I understand, come as you are, yes. But it's transformative. The idea that someone's going to come as you are and stay as you are, that's nonsense. That's novel, dude. It was not real. Not historically. But now, it's like, well, I came in, I believe that, you know, I was told that I need to accept Jesus, but that means I got to change my life and stuff? Well, I would rather you guys just change. I'm pretty comfortable who I am. You told me to come as I am. They got a point, right? They got a point. But people are getting fed up. And these churches, by the way, the churches that do this, dude, they are a flash in a pan. The heavily institutionalized ones, those ones, the institutional ones, the mainstream, they're all going the way of the dinosaur. They're ancient. They're relics. People, why go? Why go, man? You can get the same message watching CNN. You're like, I can either, hear this pastor lecture me about BLM, or I can just go to HuffPo. Why? So why do it? Why do it? And curiously enough, HuffPo is probably more thorough. But it's causing a massive divide and a backlash. And thing is, though, man, what is it? It's not just schools. And by the way, this right here, this is a great piece. I've showed this a couple times. James Lindsay, that's the guy that I want to have on the show. I want to have him on to talk about social justice and to talk about critical theory. But this applies not just to schools, man. This would apply to churches and what's going on. This would apply to all the institutions that have embraced this nonsense. The reason why is because woke have a very specific conception of the world. They have a very specific mission that has everything to do with that conception. We mistake what is in fact an entire worldview. And I've said this before, that we look at these things that are, individual account by account instances of critical theory and wokeness fleshing itself out. And we go, well, I don't like what's happening over here. For example, with, anything with schools where the schools are imposing it. This kind of weird sexualizing of everything. I don't like it over here in this group with the church, or I don't like it over here. And we can find individual case by individual case that are written about with articles, and we can share them, and it riles us up and it makes us angry. And it's easy to see one tree, one tree, one tree, one tree, as I've said before, without seeing that it's a forest. And that it's a forest literally on fire. Or one plank, one plank, one plank, one plank, and not realizing that it's a Trojan horse. And it's filled with demoniacs. The mission of critical social justice, to use its right name, is to awaken people to the so-called realities of systemic oppression in society. That's being woke. People who are woke are people who have been trained to see systemic oppression in a particular way, which has been outlined in an otherwise obscure branch of philosophy known as critical theory. And this is true, by the way. Critical theory is garbage. It's total garbage. Even, strictly speaking in philosophy, dude, even in media theory. In media theory, when I was in journalism school, we had to study this stuff. And there were multiple different schools of thought, right, in the history of media. And critical theory was the one that was kind of a joke. The only thing that didn't make it a joke and that meant you had to take it seriously was that it was driven by fanatical activists. But substantially speaking, it could never measure up. It was unscientific, and in some ways, it was just simply anti-scientific. At least according to traditional formulations, that you need to do tests and study numbers, because it denied ideas of things like objectivity, for example, which we see again and again and again nowadays, where they say, we need to abandon objectivity, quantitative analysis, logic, linear thinking. We need to get rid of that. That's critical theory, bro. Speaking formally, the woke are the people who have developed a critical consciousness about the identity-based systems of power that are alleged to permeate and define all of society. Think about that. We have that with the patriarchy, right? We have that with hierarchy, which, by the way, just for clarity's sake, I believe I'm a patriarch of my own family, by the way. All right, I'm a patriarch. I believe in patriarchy, but the way that they've defined this word, they've loaded. It's kind of like the word racism, right? They have to redefine, play the Mr. Potato Head silly putty crap to make it work. Systemic racism. Oh, it's all over the place, everywhere. Everywhere you look, it doesn't matter. It's even in you when you don't know it. It's even in you when you have no signs of it. It's even in you when you pass the implicit bias test, implicit racism. Even if you pass it with flying colors, you're still a raging racist. Because it's original sin, and they have no concept of baptismal regeneration. They have a concept of baptism, an initiation rite that gets you in. Once you're in, you've got all your books you got to read to make sure that the propaganda sets in just right. These people that they're recognizing, and they're creating profound and almost intractable injustices. Not the people, but the system that they believe in, that must be disrupted and dismantled to achieve liberation. You're hearing these catchwords all the time, like a mantra. The goal of anti-racist, culturally aware, and social justice approaches to education is to awaken a critical consciousness in your children so that they will grow up to not to think critically, but to think in terms of critical theories. But this is where people have to even just understand what critical theory means. The thing is, it begins with an assumption that racism is ordinary in our societies and present in all interactions and social and cultural phenomena. And it's up to this voodoo magic ball group of people. It's up to the elites, by the way, these theorists using woke critical consciousness, and I would say, and the overlay of intersectionality, that they're like, well, if I plug in this thing, I'm going to do this, I can pump out the idea, like, who wins the victim Olympics today in this situation? Well, you got to do overlays. You got to do overlays. In the comment street, it says, patriarchy isn't evil when it's practiced biblically. It's amazing. I'm secure in the protection of my husband and the leader of our home. I have a feeling you're going to be married for a long time. I have a feeling you're going to be married for a long time. Happy wife, happy life. And the thing is these people, once they've been taught this, it's not just simply that they have to see it in all these interactions, but they have to use this kind of woke thing that they've got going on to make it visible. Well, because it's invisible. It's the invisible monster. It's like COVID. Don't go outside. It's outside, guys. Everybody stay indoors, and it won't get you. It's like a monster creeping around. Call it out. The question is not, did racism take place, but rather, how did racism manifest in that situation? But this has people doing all sorts of dumb stuff. Rather than learning how to do math, and look, if you send your kids to public school, you may actually know a little bit about this. Your children will be taught to ask questions like how mathematics is used to maintain racial oppression. For it must, according to critical race theory. We're seeing this kind of thing talked about in ethnic studies programs, where it's a complex. Again, it all goes back to that exact same thing. It all goes back to that exact same thing. Topics like who it benefits to focus on getting the right answers in mathematics. Yeah, so it's like, oh, and you see this, look at San Diego. San Diego getting rid of grades and stuff like that. Because they're like, here's the problem. We're seeing that it's disproportionate. The minorities are overrepresented. Therefore, it's the problem of 2 + 2 = 4. And there's actually a really great article by James Lindsay, by the way, about why 2 + 2 = 4, and it's ridiculous to say otherwise. He breaks down, because it sounds fancy. You can look it up and say, when does 2 + 2 = something other than 4? And you're going to have a bunch of SJW critical theorist weirdos who are going to be talking about this stuff, and they're going to say, well, if you do this and this and this, but you got to break it down. It's like magic. You sit there and you go, okay, well, I mean, that sounds like fancy. You're using fancy words. Yeah, Scientology does too. All these people searching for ghosts. they do too. Spectrometrons and stuff. They use, maybe there's a spectrometron, right? But they use a lot of these fancy words. And you go, well, what is that? Let me look that up. And you're like, oh, dang, son, you just made that up. You just made it up. It's phone balloons, man. So you go, okay, well, they're using these fancy terms, but if you unpack that, and you say, well, what does that mean when they use this to say if you take this and this, but inside of that there's this and this? Look, go through that. It's a very good article. Let me just put it that way. Blows the 2 + 2 doesn't always equal 4 argument to smithereens. Smithereens, guys. But that's where it leads you. It's where it leads you. More than that, it insists that the United States was founded intentionally on genocide. slavery, and a principle of white supremacy and anti-blackness that has never been repaired. This is what they're forcing down your kids' throats. Get them out, by the way. If you can. And I think that the private school and homeschooling communities, and maybe I'm just unaware of some of the things that they're doing to try to work together to ensure that as many kids and families as want to exodus that diabolical system, that they're able to. And we need to join and band together to fight like mad to say, look, we need to, and that might actually be better for taxes, because if we don't have as many kids going to public school, then you won't need to spend as much in taxes. We can just say, look, keep it as a public option if you really want to go down that road. But with less people, you won't even need them. You won't need to spend as much in taxes anymore for that. And they won't constantly be demanding even more. So I'm tired of that. Double dipping stuff, man. You want to send your kids to private school? Well, you need to not only pay the taxes for it, you also need to pay for the schooling. Look, they're double dipping, dude. They rely so heavily on people who work really hard. They do. They rely very heavily. And then at the end of the day, they say, not only do you have to pay for us, but at the end of the day, we're going to teach the kids how bad you are. We're going to teach the kids that what you believe at home is bad. And if you're learning from home, you better not be watching. You have no right to watch as I teach your kids. That's satanic, man. It's so messed up, dude. Yeah. But here's the thing. Already, at least in the state of California, a proposed, admittedly rejected, curriculum would teach lessons like that about America. Not as history, but as herstory. H-X-R-S-T-O-R-Y. Herstory. Her story. Do you get it? Do you see? Dude, it's a bumper sticker crap, man. This is stupid. And then they put an X in there. History. And then, by the way, X, like xylophone. His or story. Where his has been replaced by an explicitly non-binary formulation of her, so that maleness and cis heteronormativity, another one of those made up words, I'm glad we're learning to pronounce them, cis heteronormativity. Listen to my robot produced made up words in my post-humanist anti-human world. Exterminate won't accidentally be centered in the term. By the way, his story isn't even the genuine etymology of the word history. But critical theory looks for oppression hidden in unlikely symbols, even when it doesn't make sense. Even when it doesn't make sense. It's unbelievable. We got to do better, guys. We got to do better. We have to make sure that we are protecting and raising our kids properly. And the way to do it, family first, man. Family first, brother. You got to do it. I'm told in the comment section, many families are creating group co-ops. Yes, that's one way that we can do this. To say, look, do you want to exit us out of that system that is literally loathing the United States of America, that is loathing you because of your race, that is loathing you because of your culture, that is insinuating things about you that you abhor, by the way, that you may have fought your entire life to oppose, but it's accusing you, and it's doing it by whispering into the children's ears. Mommy and daddy might be really bad people. They believe in the Bible. They take it seriously. Xenophobe, homophobe, transphobe, phobophobes. Ah! Robot weirdos. Robot weirdos, dude. unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. You know, and the thing is, it's insatiable. It really is the abyss that's swallowing everything alive. The darkness that is swallowing everything alive. It's never satiated. It's never full. It's a black hole. Intellectually, morally, most importantly, spiritually, salvifically, it is a black hole of death. It's deranged, demented. It's demonic. They want your kids. It wants your kids. And again, I've said this before, the reason why this diabolical system wants your children is easy, because the thing is, most of these people who are running the show with this, most of these people are into the on the babies, killing the babies, contracepting the babies. Sexual deviancy, dude, through the roof. You know, you sit there and you're like, oh, you know, well, yeah, it's really great if you do the Bill Nye the science guy, Bill Nye the pseudoscience guy, and that rap, that terrible, stupid rap. We got to play that next week, man. Maybe I'll play it on the live show tonight. I'll do something special, man. You got to go, though. It's going to be unlisted, so you got to go to paleocratdiaries.com. We're going to do a bunch of cool stuff, I think. I think that's what it's going to do. But, you know, that rap has a lady talking about, you know, well, you know, I know you're basically cis. You're into ladies liking boys, boys liking girls, but how do you know unless you got up on it? How do you know you don't like the poop scoop? It's anti-children, man. Look, ain't making babies doing that. Ain't making babies doing that. So it doesn't matter, man. Abortion, contraception, LGBTQing it out of existence. That's why they want to mutilate little Tommy's wee-wee. But that means that they have to put special emphasis on making sure that they can wrangle in your kids another way. It's okay that you keep making them in the meantime, because they want to figure out a way to do the video game in the brain and to put that into a flash drive, download it onto the server. But in the meantime, until they figure that one out, until they figure out that post-human enterprise, they need at least somebody to keep making those babies. So you're good for a reason. You're good for a reason. Diabolical, man. I'll show you something else diabolical. We've been covering this, and okay, let me say this about the debate first. Okay, we may go a little bit over, maybe, because we had so many problems with the show. We had so many problems with the video and trying to hold back and being like, dude, this is driving me nuts. So I watched the debate last night. I didn't watch the whole thing. In fact, I didn't even talk about it on the show. I didn't say, hey, everybody, make sure to tune in tonight. You're going to get to hear the debate with Biden and Trump. Didn't even talk about it. In fact, wouldn't have even really known or cared until I got on my phone, because I ended up watching a movie with my kids last night. It's kind of a scary movie, actually. We watched a scary movie together. And the thing is, so we watch it, and I get on my phone afterward. I'm kind of looking at something, and I see in my subscriptions, I saw that Midwesterly was on. Now, Midwesterly, the guy from the Quartering, the guy from the Quartering, and I really like the Quartering a lot. Okay, and so the Quartering's a really cool dude, and I've never seen Midwesterly though, never seen it before. You know, I've heard him say that it's his political channel. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool, man. I'd like to maybe know a little bit more about his political channel. So I go yesterday, and it was the debate. Now, he knew that he wasn't going to be able to he knew it was against the rules, and he was going to lose out on a week. Okay, so he wasn't going to be able to do any videos for a week, but he felt that it was worth it. And as I watched it, you know, I noticed a couple of things. And I don't want to go into all the details of the debate, because as we've talked about before in another episode, I think a lot of this is theater. In fact, the entirety, if we really think about it, the entirety of it is theater. And most of the stuff that we heard is stuff that we are already aware of. We hear it every day. We talk about it here on the show. Even the revelations to do is just like, getting to see somebody package what we say in real time, and it's Trump, right? But we knew this stuff ahead of time. We're up to date on this stuff. Every once in a while, you'll hear something that you didn't hear before. For example, in the comment section, Dark Winter. Dark Winter. Now, that's something, I wish I had a link to this, but Dark Winter is real cryptic stuff because, in fact, let me look this thing up real quick. So I'm going to look up Dark Winter. Let's see. Dark Winter. Yeah, there is a Johns Hopkins Center for Health and Security. You can find it there. Of course, I think there's a Wikipedia about this. Yeah, Wikipedia. Operation Dark Winter. Operation Dark Winter was the code for a senior-level bioterrorist attack simulation conducted from June 22nd to 23rd, 2001. It was designed to carry out a mock version of a covert and widespread smallpox attack in the United States. Wow, man. Yeah. You can find out about that. Dark Winter Project. It shows the controllers, the scenario, the summary of the findings. And what they find, an attack on the United States with biological weapons could threaten vital national security interests. Current organizational structures and capabilities are not well suited for the management of biowarfare attack. There is no surge capability in the U.S. healthcare and public health systems, or in the pharmaceutical and vaccine industries. Dealing with the media will be a major immediate challenge for all levels of government. Should a contagious bioweapon pathogen be used, containing the spread of disease will present significant ethical, political, cultural, operational, and legal challenges. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, it kind of, sounds like a little something. Sounds like a little something, something. What does that guy, hey guys, what does that remind you of? What does that remind you of? That's really weird, isn't it? Isn't that really weird? Because it seems like, wow, man, that hit all the buttons. That hit all the buttons. Yes. Our Santist. On, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. On YouTube. Yes, research that. Yes, dude, for sure. Absolutely no question about it. So every once in a while, you'll get a little nuggy nug, right? You'll get a little nuggy nug that comes out that wasn't anticipated. You'll catch people up on some lies and stuff. But again, these are all things that we know that it's a lie because, like pointing out, for example, Joe Biden, what he said about Russia. Russia. That the laptop is somehow Russia. The laptop. Really? It was in Delaware, bro. It's your son's, dude. It was in Delaware. It didn't require any Russian. It's got a person who says, yeah, it was at my shop. Oh, maybe the guy who used to be in bed with Hunter that was going to be one of the partners and has all of this information, a whole bunch of it, regarding the deals in China, what they were willing to give, the pipeline that it made to the big man taking his 10% cut like a mafia boss. Biden's in trouble. He's in trouble. So you can catch him up on that. But the thing is, we knew that. We knew this stuff before the debate. And so I watched the debate. And, I'm obviously a Trump supporter. I mean, there's not even a question about it. I am MAGA Man Central. The thing is, though, is that, watching it, I could imagine. In fact, I thought it was really weird to see these snap polls and to see, these, by the way, the CNN group that had the voters who didn't know what they were going to vote. And there's like 12 of them or whatever, and they're all seated far apart. And the guy's like, how many of you think that Trump won? 0 people. 0 people. I'm like, oh, dude, this is bogus. This is all bogus. Again, theater. The theater didn't stop with the debate. It didn't start with the debate. It didn't end with the debate. It's all theater. And so I watched it. And I said, like, yeah, there were a number of good points that President Trump made. Let me say this, though. I don't know if you guys noticed this. Hey, maybe the campaign's watching the show, right? We got a lot of good listeners. We got a lot of people, and this is actually a true thing. We have a lot of people who are kind of higher up people, right? Your thought leaders who are interested in the stuff that is said on this program. And that's true over the years. That's true no matter what station I've been with. It's been true no matter what version of the program has come out, whether it's been on TV, whether it's been on AM/FM radio, didn't matter. Whether it was just a YouTube channel, didn't matter. Always had people intelligent, kind of in the upper echelons, right? Of the MAGA type movement, MAGA styled movement throughout history, watching the show. So maybe they were watching it, right? But we weren't the only people saying this. But if you looked closely, Trump was taking notes. He took his time. He was calm. He was respectful. He took notes. And then he sprung like a snake. Wow! Yeah. Just crushed him, by the way. In my opinion. So in my opinion, he crushed him. I thought that there was a number of ridiculous and stupid things that Joe Biden said. A number of them. And I don't know how anybody could watch that. I mean, okay, there was a couple times where it was like, I can imagine someone going, dude, that was a good zinger. But then if you say, okay, that's a good zinger, but now let's actually look at the substance of it. Dude, Trump dominated the substance. He dominated the substance of the debate. And even if you want to say, well, Joe may have gotten a point on this thing or that, even if you wanted to do that, most of the time you could say, okay, well, maybe let's say 10-3, 10-4, which I was glad to see Midwesterly say that. And if you don't know who that is, go check him out. Go check him out. And tell him that I told you that. I really do enjoy that guy's stuff. Especially now his political stuff. First time I've ever seen it. So I didn't put too much stock in that. Because I don't think that's where the debate is going to happen. I don't think that's even where the fight's going to happen. I think that my friend Adam is onto it. I think my friend Adam is onto this, saying, look, we need poll watchers. We need poll watchers. Why do I say that? I don't know. Because we got more from Detroit leaks. Michigan GOP leaders fight back against potential Democrat vote steal. Yeah, certain Republicans, leaders in the state, it caught them flat-footed. It's true, it did. It's true. Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of people here trying to figure out how do we stop the Detroit Gate. If you don't know what's going on with that, these are people training individuals who will work in various precincts all over the place. People counting the ballots, people processing the ballots, people assuring individuals that they have voted. And you can hear it on audio where they are talking on audio about how to scam the system. How to scam that system. It's unbelievable. It's coming from multiple directions. This is an all-out war. It's not just, mail-in. This is stuff, man, they are going in. They're highly organized, which is why I'm grateful. And I'm even grateful for the fun fact that a lot of these, there's news places all over the place following people like Adam, following him around, making sure what's he doing? Because, man, it seems like the Republicans are starting to take this seriously. I'm glad. Because the more that they do that, the more people will begin to see. Nuno in the comments says, my takeaway from the debate, what is Trump's connection to the po' boys? The poor boys, yeah. And how fresh is the crawfish on those? He called them the poor boys. And you could tell it's because he didn't even know who he was talking about. Yeah, there's some group about that. Look, man, if they were this massive threat, dude, it's kind of weird you don't even know what they're named. It's because we are not a threat. That is why. That is why. We're a threat to authoritarian weirdos, but only in the sense that we are uber patriotic and we are not going to allow our country to be run over by crazy spirit cooking maniacs. Yeah. By the way, man, I got to say this. I wasn't going to talk about this, but Enrique, our international chairman, Enrique, he responded yesterday when we found out recently about Iran sending these terrible emails, by the way. These terrible emails, and it wasn't even from an actual Proud Boy email or anything like that. It was completely phony baloney sauce. But everybody sees it and goes, oh my gosh, dude, Proud Boys are threatening us, and they're telling us if we don't vote for Trump, they're going to come hurt us. All right, so people are freaked out. There's a lot of people who don't know how that stuff works, and they found out the intelligence community has determined that came from Iran. Okay, now Enrique, the chairman, comes out and basically is talking about this is an act of war, and that if or when we do go to war with Iran, that we need to have on one of the missiles, we need to have Proud Boys on there. And I thought about it and I said, dude, don't say that. Number one, that's cuckoo crazy pants. The idea of going to war with anybody, by the way, in the Trump administration, dude, what are you thinking? No, man. No. That would be a petty reason, by the way. It'd be a petty reason. There's many, but in the escalation of force, war is like, I don't know, number 1 bazillion for this. There's many things that we could do. But the idea, it would violate the modus operandi of Trump. It would be a major departure, an unreasonable departure, confusing departure. I mean, maybe it was just a rhetorical device that he used, but I don't think it was wise, man. I don't think it was wise. I love you, man. I love the memes about you, but on that one, I don't know, man. That's a little bit cuckoo bird nonsense knee-jerk reactionism. A little bit. In the comments, all that talk about pigs in a blanket, the whole thing made you hungry. Oh, and it's hilarious because Joy Reid, she's like, nobody even knows who those people were that said that. Black Lives Matter has never done anything violent. Never, ever, never. Dude, there's a bazillion examples of the crazy violence that's being done in the name of people who say that they believe in Black Lives Matter. And more than that there are organizers, these Alinskyite organizers who are saying, oh yeah, look, man, the looting and the rioting, not only is that okay, but that's a form of reparations. So shut your mouth that your stuff's getting burned down. Shut your mouth that stuff's being stolen. Justifying on video, dude. Propaganda 101. Turn that crap off. Turn it off, guys. Why even waste your time looking at her? She's one of those crazy liars. Look, MSNBC, she's with what? MSNBC? I don't even know, don't even care. Cut that cable a long time ago. But they don't even have the integrity, by the way, of C-SPAN. Maybe unsurprisingly. They don't have the integrity of C-SPAN. C-SPAN, they have that Scully guy, right? The guy who was supposed to be a moderator for debate number 2. The original debate number 2. He ended up getting busted, tweeting something out to an anti-Trumper, a never-Trumper. Scaramucci, Scary Mooch. Yeah, real scary mooch, by the way. And the thing is, he ends up tweeting it out. Then he lies and said, oh man, those hackers. People came in and hacked me. Nobody cares about you, dude. Nobody's even trying to do that. And we told you why that was highly, highly unlikely. Maybe you could prove it, but it was on him at that point to prove it. Highly unlikely. And so the thing is, C-SPAN lets him go because he lied about hacking. Problem is, mainstream media, they would have hardly anybody in the news anymore from talking about a fake hacking story, starting with the Trump hacked the election. Russia hacked the DNC servers. No, they didn't, man, you dummy. No, they didn't. I've talked about that already. I think it's on my Satan Called My Cell Phone video at youtube.com/paleocrat. You should check it out. talk about that. Responding, in fact, to a lot of atheist and far left SJW weirdos. But Joy Reid, she gets busted for all of these things, which, by the way, I would agree with most of it. She was basically talking traditional forms of sexual ethics and Christianity and things like that back in the day. And people went on the Wayback Machine and found it. And she was, it was because I was hacked. No, it wasn't, dude. No, it wasn't. You're more apostate than we thought. Detroit Leaks whistleblower explains how Republican poll worker applicants are being discarded in Michigan. Again. So not only are they saying like, well, here's how you get it to the people that won't do it, but now they're talking about this is how you discard them. Far left elections training coordinator posted a bizarre conspiracy theory blaming Stephen Miller for Antifa and BLM. Yvonne Brookins, election training coordinator, voting is a must. And by the way, I'd love to know how many people turned off this debate after the first 15 minutes. Yeah. So Yvonne Brookins, this lady, teaching people how to be schemesters. One of the people that we got to watch out for. And what is she doing? She's blaming Stephen Miller for Antifa and BLM. Dude, here's the thing. This stuff's existed way before. And by the way, last thing about Joy Reid, sorry. Last thing about Joy Reid. Joy Miller. That's what I feel when I see Stephen Miller. I don't see him enough, by the way. I wish that they had him on there all the time. He's the closest thing we have to the Hungarian foreign minister that I like so much. He is. He's the closest thing we got. You know, but Joy Reid, she gets on there and says BLM only stands for one thing. And it's the idea that there's tons and tons and tons of black people getting shot, unarmed black people getting shot every single day by the cops. If you added up 2019, you would have every day for 2 weeks. 2 weeks out of the stinking year, Joy. Two weeks. Think about that, guys. One person every day for 2 weeks. And you go, man, that's still a lot. I mean, 2 weeks. Nobody wants an unarmed person to be shot. Unarmed doesn't necessarily mean not violent. Now, it does mean, look, there could be other ways that you can deal with these situations. I strongly encourage that. I went through training for the use and escalation of force. I went through training for that. And so I understand how that works. A guy comes up to me and he's got his fisticuffs out. I'm not going to pop a gun and boom. Not as a person working safety and security. Ain't going to do it. So I think we need to definitely deal with that. We need to stop doing that Israeli technique of putting the knee on the back. That's maybe something we should not do anymore. And by the way, we are trained by people. It's an Israeli technique. It was trained all across America. We should stop doing that. There are other things we could do. And one of the things we can do is to volunteer. People should volunteer to be poll watchers. In fact, I'm going to reach out to somebody today and say, look, you know, my precinct, there's not many people, but I'm a precinct delegate, and I want to make sure. I want to make sure that we have people on the spot in this precinct who will be able to ensure that even our small number of votes, maybe especially our small number of votes, that we are represented and that they are counted. Because there is a lot on the line. All right, everybody. We are going to check out now some of these memes we've gone over in our time. Remember, if you want to send us any memes or stories or you'd like us to cover different topics, make sure to send it to paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. And remember, of course, that this evening we're going to do some kind of a thing, whether it's a pre-recorded premiere that will happen, but no matter what, it's only going to happen at paleocratdiaries.com, where we're going to show the videos of many of these stories that we covered today that we simply couldn't show. Because it broke my heart, man. I wanted to laugh at the stinking bear. You know, we're coming into the weekend. You got to have the joy, man. You got to have the joy in your heart. You simply have to. Yeah. So make sure, paleocratdiaries.com. If you have any articles that you'd like us to cover, make sure paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. All right. Now, speaking here, we are going to check this out. Okay, presidential debate bingo. You know, this is actually kind of fun, man. I can imagine if you actually go back and look. I don't know if this was all on there, you know, and to what extent, but it's pretty good. Pretty good. China, Obamagate, muted mic, secret Chinese bank account. I think it's pretty fair, too. And pretty fair, pretty accurate. I stored this because this is actually shared by somebody who does not like President Trump. Yeah, at this point, if President Trump came out in favor of oxygen, Democrats would suffocate themselves. Dude, it's totally true. And by the way, I appreciate that. I appreciate that guy. He is a fair dude. Okay, all right, what's this? Thank you for saving me from an unfulfilling hedonistic life in the city. I'm so happy here. Don't thank me, dear. It's my duty to lead. You know, I can imagine people getting really upset about that and being like, well, wait a second. You know, what's going on with this, man? Are you saying this lady, you know, you can't be happy and fulfilled in the city? Maybe. I might be saying that. You know, I like the city. I like living near a large city, but I don't necessarily like living in the city. And I like my neighborhood. I like the people in my neighborhood. But in general, no thanks. No thanks. Give me a bunch of trees. Like just this scene right here, as small as that house is, I would normally kind of dog on that house as being kind of small and everything. But we saw pictures yesterday, guys. We saw pictures yesterday of small house, that little pineapple SpongeBob house. Remember that? You know, just maximized space inside. A perfect marriage is just two imperfect people who refuse to give up on each other. That's a touching one, man. I feel that way about Ailey, by the way. I feel about that way about Ailey. Hold on a second. I'm just going to let her know that right now. Because, you know, I need to, I should probably check in, you know, once every couple of hours just to remind her of how I feel. Hey, Ailey. Yeah, let's see her. We're gonna find out if she ends up contacting me. Revolt against the modern world. Yeah, okay, so maybe.
Yes.
I just wanted to tell you that you are just banging hot, and that I love you, and I hope that we are married and make babies forever, and that we grow old together, and we do those cute things that old people do.
Love you too.
Oh, yeah. I have the best secretary in the world. Oh, am I blushing, guys? I feel like it. My heart's blushing. Yeah, let's see here. Revolt against the modern world. Yes, you know, please do. Please do. Look at the beauty at the top. It's maybe a little bit of, you know, femininity Fridays, right? Female physique Friday kind of thing. Because these ones at the bottom, you know, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of underlying and maybe even some outlying condition. Oh, look at this. Evil may have its hour, but God will have its day. God will have his day. Yes. Evil may have its hour, but God will have his day. I love that. St. Michael, the Archangel. Defend us in battle. No doubt about it. Men and women are designed to complement one another. Look, this kind of stuff's enraging to modern minds, by the way. Modern minds and modern lives. They're like, oh, what? What? You're telling me that men and women who, you know, interestingly enough, fit together to, like, make more of each other, that they're supposed to complement one another? That's weird. That's not fair. What? It's actually quite fair. It's entirely fair. It's by the design of nature and nature's God. Swords and shovels, build and fight. You know, man, but now this makes me want to have like one of those houses that you people, number one, you got to kind of go on a hike way out there. You know, I love our castle. I do. I love the castle here. Oh, castle paleo crap. But man, dude, I'm serious. Like, this is making me nostalgic, guys. Come on. What's going on with this? Be kind to animals. All right. Oh, well, wait. So it looks like there is a, no, I'm not seeing, is that a cat? If that's a cat, that's like the tiniest cat I've ever seen. It looks more like a little baby chicken or something. But that horse, yes, I've said before, I think horses are on our side. Dogs, yeah, dogs are, but there is a massive propaganda campaign going on trying to wiggle its way in between ourselves and the cats. And I have a feeling that the cats are on our side. Look back in anger. I do. I look back in anger, guys. I look back and I remember what life was like. I remember what life was like and how great it was to wake up and to not wonder, man, what's this rando person saying about me? What are these people who aren't really part of my life, who never really reach out to me? What are they saying on political things that they have no influence over? What's just the diarrhea of the mouth out of that person today? And how is that going to make me really mad? That's why I try to talk about things that matter. Children need loving mothers. If you didn't have one, be one. I'd put the word please by that. And for God's sake, please. We need mothers right now. We need strong husbands. And we need strong and valiant, spiritually robust women. We do. Operation Reclaim Innocence. Here's the thing, though. Look at all of these pictures. This is a lot of nostalgia going on, by the way. So, part of that, though, is because we live in a time where this stuff's just simply gone. It's simply gone. You look and you say, well, what is it that's bringing this kind of stuff into their lives? And how can we safeguard that? Here's a good one. Maybe you should really consider forming a philosophy of mass media and a philosophy of technology before you just give your kid the newest update of iPads or iPhones or Androids or whatever. Or say, well, yeah, but they want to talk to their buddies over the stream. He's 8 or 9. Yeah, I mean, what could be wrong about that? That's kind of like the app that I had. I don't know if it's still on here. There's a walkie-talkie app that you can go on. It's got a bunch of different channels, and you can flip through the channels, but you can't do one-on-one discussions. It's a room basically, and anybody can come into the room that they want. I heard the most perverted crap in the world. I had turned it off within a matter of only a couple minutes. But I was listening to this, and I'm thinking, these are all kids. These are all kids. Unbelievable. Human happiness and moral duty are inseparably connected. It's so important for our times, guys. That is so important for our times to realize that, look, we complain, well, why is it? Why is it that so many people are unhappy? And why is it that so many people, when they say, well, I want to be happy, well, what's going to make you happy? More streaming. What's going to make you happy? More porn. What's going to make you happy? More drugs. More divorce. More abortion. No way. No way. I love traditional gender roles. Actually, I think this lady right here is, if I remember right, man, it might be a traditional wife or traditional woman online. I think it's I think that's her. Be free. Isn't this beautiful, women? Isn't this beautiful? And look, by the way, look at the way that people are dressed. Look at the femininity that just radiates off of these women. There's no ambiguity. There's no mixing it up. You don't sit there and go, is that a dude or a chick? I mean, I guess some people, but we would only look at that and say, maybe out of a grotesque kind of sickness, a satanic sickness. But look at it. And look at the kids. We can bring this back, by the way. There's no reason. There's nothing in this world that says that what we're seeing right now needs to be like a time capsule. There's nothing. There's nothing at all. In fact, everything in the world is screaming at us to realize that this is not something trapped in time, but it's tradition that flows and transcends it, and it undergirds it and guides it, and we've abandoned it. And like the prodigal son, we can go back to what we've abandoned. There's no kind of fate with this. Desperate times call for faithful men, and not for careful men. The careful men come later and write the biographies of the faithful men, lauding them for their courage. Douglas Wilson. I'll end with this. We've gone way over. I want to say, guys, I am really, really grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for this week. Even with all of the problems, what did I say? What's the rule here? You never give up. You keep on smiling. You remember time is limited by remembering death. And you make the best use of it you possibly can. This is what this show is about. So this week we've had a couple days where there were technical issues. Today, infuriating about the videos. Remember, you can go to paleocratdiaries.com and you'll go later, and we're gonna do something. We'll see if we can embed a video that we can make unlisted. Okay, so you have to be there in order to see it, and it'll be the details will be available by 3 o'clock. Okay, because we're gonna have to do work on this episode to make sure that we can put links and everything in timestamps. And so, but make sure to check that out. But through it all, to say, you know what, it could have been easy for me to just say, oh, I'm done. I'm done. I'm out of here. We even had to switch the gears on the internet connection. It's okay. Never give up. You got to keep on smiling. It's okay. Right? There's a limited amount of time. Make the best use of it you possibly can. That at the end of it, you can be proud of what you've done. Share this with all your friends. Remember, paleocratdiaries.com for interviews, speeches, and other inquiries. You can email us at paleocratdiaries@gmail.com, of course. Check out Paleo Cheese Podcast. You can check that out. And normally we record on Fridays, but I don't think we're recording today. And because we're not going to record today, that's why I may have my time to go ahead and do the unlisted video that you'll find at paleocratdiaries.com. And Meaning of Catholic, check that out. If you haven't seen the articles that I've shared there, I've only shared a couple. I really should share a lot more. He's offered for me to even, host videos and things like that, live stream videos there. But it would have to be different. I'd have to wear a suit. I'd have to wear a tie and things like that. So I'm really grateful. I'm grateful that you guys helped to make this week so amazing, that we howled together, we laughed. We even cried a little bit, didn't we? We even had, stories about my sister, and stories about my son, and stories about my daughter who died, and all of these different things. We've been through this together. And so I'm grateful for all of you. You've not only helped to make my week better and my week awesome, and it's already awesome. I love my family. I love my life, actually. I love God and all these things. But you guys and girls, you are a really big part of who I am and of what I do every day, and what drives me to continue doing the absolute best I can and trying to make it better each and every time. So I'm really grateful that you tune in. And I'm grateful for your graciousness for this very professional man and this very professional show. So until next time, never give up. Keep on smiling. And memento mori. If I don't talk into microphones, I don't make that mad cash. Making all that money. Making that mad loot, right?
Mind control.
So we see the minority elite imposing their ideology on an unwilling and resentful populace. This causes a backlash. People get ticked off. The left is working long and hard to make us feel as if we've done something wrong. Worse yet, that we are the problem. Don't let people just rip on your heritage. Don't let people just rip on your traditions. Don't let people rip on your heroes. Stand up for what you believe, what made you who you are. So unless this disenfranchised majority begins standing up for what they believe in their heart of hearts to be true, I think we'd be left with nothing more than a dirge and maybe a funeral procession.